Good morning. Peace and blessings. Happy Monday, everyone. How's everybody doing today? We're full swing into Pisces season now. And Pisces season, and the moon is in Gemini today. I wanted to come in and just talk about the energy and what's happening energetically in our reality on the earth and ourselves. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. So it's we are about to start moving rapidly into the new dimensions, is what I really want to say. Let me say this: the thing that's a trip to me is that I'm like, our whole energetic system in the earth is about to change, and the way we relate to the earth realm is about to change, or the way the earth realm or this solar system relates to us. And it's weird because it feels like, hey, freedom, love, it feels like we are it's like, how does reality change? Like, what do you mean reality is changing? What do you mean, right? Like, we've always done things this way, right? But we've always been, we've always had thoughts like this. We've always done relationship this way. We've always done things in certain ways. But now all of that is changing, you all, because more light is coming into our reality. And so that's been shifting in subtle ways, but it's going to become more rapid and start picking up more and more and more. It's so profound as I witness the shifts happening, because I'm aware that they have to happen within me. And because the universe is an internal thing. We think it's external, but it really is only happening within you. And what you experienced externally is always just a projection. And so it's important to understand that. And just think, well, yes, it's important to understand that. Now, with the universe shifting, what's happening is that we have to become more responsible for our energy. It's recognizing that everything that's happening in your life truly is your creation. And that's not the easiest thing for us to get, because we have been living in a reality where there wasn't as much light. So we couldn't see our connections. The connections are always there. I was just sharing with someone, the gentleman who drives with me, Fillmore, who drives me, that the water holds all the memory on the planet, right? So, and even though you can't see water, it's everywhere. And the water, we're breathing it in, we're exhaling it, and the water is coded to our frequency. So when we have this relationship with water, we are experiencing oneness, right? But because we've been in the dark ages, we didn't have the mindset, we didn't get it. But now the light is coming, so now we're going to start to see these connections more and more and more, and our creative power is going to start going faster and faster and faster, which is why it's so key to heal your trauma. This is why I'm always talking about healing. Well, first of all, I'm a Virgo, and I have a stellium in the 6th house of Virgo. So I'm very aware of how I have created trauma in my life, and how my mind, I'm sensitive to the creative power, right? But if we don't heal our trauma now, we're going to begin to reproduce it, because it is the frequency in which we function at. And the healing, y'all, telling you, healing is something that you must be deliberate about doing. Now, why I use astrology to heal is because why not heal where the universe is already functioning? Like, because we're a part of this universe and oneness is a part of our experience, if the universe is bringing light to the subconscious, that's when you do the healing work in the subconscious energy, because the universe is bringing you the power to do that. You don't have to fucking recreate the wheel. It's available to you. So the more we understand energy and how it works, you can flow, you can be in the flow of the energy. You don't have to be flow upstream, right? So while the sun is in Pisces, we want to be doing the work to reprogram our subconscious, because that's where the energy is. That is where it is easily available, and it will stick. So if you're doing the subconscious work, in Virgo season, it's not to say that it won't be supportive, but it's not going to have as much juice, because Virgo season is not for subconscious work. Virgo season is for working with the body. So you want to work with the body during Virgo season. You want to work with the energy of your heart during Leo season. You want to work with the energy of your senses during Taurus season. You want to do the work to reprogram yourself out of the old ways of being, out of your old functioning, into a new way of being when the universe is aligned there. That's the thing that I'm always so aware of. I'm like, wow, as I study this stuff and learn, I'm like, it's like they did a whole lot of trickery getting us to function against our natural rhythms. Like, there has been a whole mission to get us to not even understand where we are. So many of us are lost in our own ways of being because we have been conditioned to go against our energy systems. We've been conditioned to abandon our sensory systems and what we feel for this external alignment and agreement. And that is what makes us sick. It was what makes us depressed. It's what makes us sad. It's what makes us broke and not having any money, because we're functioning out of alignment with the energy. And the most important thing is the energy. The energy is the most important aspect of all of this, because we live in an energetic system. Everything here is energy first and foremost. And even the mundane, which looks like it's stagnant or that it's not moving, is vibrating at a lower frequency, but it's still moving. It's still alive. So the work is to learn how to do the ritual practices to update your codes and heal your trauma. Now, everyone's trauma is different, but we're in the West, right? So all of us are traumatized. Let me say this in the nicest way about myself as I can. Like, I have a big ego, and I remember when I was first starting this work thinking, I don't need this, or that's not true, or I'm not affected. But the more and more and more I see it, and I'm doing the work, and I learn the truth, and then I see how I function, I'm like, oh, we're all lost and sick. We don't know it though. We have no idea how out of alignment we are until you begin to come into alignment. It's in the language that we're speaking. It's in how we talk about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves. And some of the things that I can see myself doing is, I'm very sensitive. I have a Pisces rising, and Neptune is on my ascendant right now, so I can feel everything, and I can feel so much in the invisible. But I would suppress my feelings because my feelings weren't safe. And so that would keep me out of my power, because I started teaching myself, I started ignoring my feelings. I wasn't being honest with what was really going on inside of me. And then I would make choices that were out of alignment. I would ignore my feelings, and I would do something that would actually cause more harm in my world than good, right? So it's really important that we understand that there's much more to this experience than what we can actually see. There's much more to what we're experiencing than what the eye will show us. And so you have to begin to really heal the trauma, because the trauma has you being afraid of things. And it's the trauma of this country around relationship and love. Like, we have all sorts of notions about what love is and ownership of other people that's really out of alignment with God's laws. That's traumatizing. We really have more. We have trauma around our relationship to abundance and being cared for, because we're conditioned to have to make money to live, right? That's traumatizing. So you because you're more concerned about living and not about living in your freedom, you will there's a chance that you can make choices to make money in ways that are against who you truly are. As women, we've been taught to be ashamed of our sensual sexual nature and how sensual and sexual we are. Most women that tell the truth about their sexuality we're far more sexual than men. But the culture says that if you're a sexual woman, there's a problem with you. Something is wrong with you. So we deny it. We subdue it. We press it down. And when we press down our sexual nature, we kill the creative process, because women are responsible for the creative process. And what is the creative process? It's the energy of generating new realities that can keep us progressing and moving forward. So when women are not connected to their sensual sexual nature because of cultural norms and agreements, we suppress the creative power in the universe because it's coming through women. When women deny their sexuality and only align ourselves to the experience of creating children, which is good. We like children, I like them. But that's not all that we can create. Women can build realities out of our subconscious, out of our imagination. But you need time to rest. You need time to rejuvenate. You need time to nest and think so that you can actually get clear about what is trying to come through you. And if you're not cultivating that, it makes the world what it is. You see, the world is filled with fear. The world is filled with separation. The world is filled with againstness. The world is filled with a competition. Why? Because women are in the masculine role. Because women are not feeling loved and nurtured and cared for by ourselves. See, we have some idea that somebody else is supposed to fucking do it. But no, you are responsible for yourself. You are responsible for cultivating yourself. And the thing that, as women, we've been told the same thing. You got to work and you got to have money and all this sort of stuff. But when you understand your creative nature is connected to the divine, is connected to how the universe flows, and you get in alignment with that, then the energy flows freely to you and through you. But you have to align yourself to it. And the universe is not going to beg you to do what you're supposed to do. You got to beg the universe to help you get where you're supposed to be. The universe is here for you already. But if you're not doing the work, and then you can't access it, So in my work, in the classes that I teach, I teach us how to tap into our intuition, how to listen, how to trust, how to be aligned to nature. I teach us how to trust our feelings and tap into the energy of of your feeling power, your Venus power, right? We all have these powers within us. We all have them. The power of Pluto, the power of the moon, the power of the sun, the power of Jupiter, the power of Saturn, the power of Uranus, the power of Neptune. We have those powers inside of us, and you have to cultivate them. And when you cultivate them, they begin to work through you. They begin to work like magic. I'm telling you, y'all, it's such and the more and more I do it, I'm just aware of how much out of alignment I was. The more and more I align to the planetary energies inside of me and cultivate them, the more I see why I had to struggle so much, and because I wasn't connected to my own will. Like Mars rules your will center. If you're not connected to your own will, somebody else owns your will. And we're taught, we give up our wills early. Why? Because they teach us to go to school every day. Nobody wants to. I don't care if you're 5 years old. You don't want to get up and go do that shit every day. Nobody wants to do that because it's all garbage, right? We go to church and they tell us that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. So we give up our own magic to believe in Jesus, and you give up your will, right? So you have to recultivate a connection to these aspects to yourself. And when you do, the powers begin to work in ways that are profound. Yes, learning from our work together, that if you're not at home in your own body, which takes practice, that's right, no one can make you feel safe. That's right. And you have to practice it. But the universe always shows up for you. When you say yes to yourself, the universe be like, did she say yes to herself? Did she say yes to herself? And when you say yes to yourself, the whole universe comes and says, all right, we're good. But you have to practice it because there is so much going against you. There's such a revolution to take your power. But when you practice it, oh my God, it's amazing. It really is amazing. So today is a moon day. And the moon is in Gemini, y'all. And Mars is in Gemini. And Mars has been retrograde in Gemini for 6 months, right? So what we have been reprogramming is our relationship to the self, to our bodies, right? Because here's the thing. What you think, right? You hear people talk about your thoughts and how important it is. It's not important to just have positive thoughts. That's not what it is. It's important to understand the faculty of thinking and what it does. It's important for you to see your relationship to it. It's important for you to see, I thought that, and then that motherfucker happened right there. Or there was one time I was in the store at Whole Foods. It was so funny. And I was in Whole Foods and I was in the line and I was having a thought about something. And the person in front of me spoke my thought. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Because that is how powerful thought is. I've had many thoughts. I'll be thinking something and my child will speak it, right? Because that's how powerful thoughts are. But when you're not conscious and you don't understand how thought works, then it's working without your power and it's working against you. You have to become aware of it. So the moon is in Gemini and our thoughts are creating our reality. Why? Because our thoughts are sending out an electromagnetic signal to the universe, telling the universe who we are. It's a frequency, right? So you have to get on a frequency. It's not enough just to have positive thoughts. You have to get on the frequency of thought that is aligned to who you are. And how do you know that? By your astrology, by understanding your astrology. And your astrology will tell you the frequency of your thought. And you have to practice it. You have to stay in it. It has taken me about 4 years to clean up my mind. It's taken me about 4 years to clean up my mind. And what was my mind thinking? Well, first of all, I had a mind that was just all caught up in racism and racist this and racist that. Why? Because that was my father's mind. My father's mind was in me. And because we were born on the same day, so I inherited his mind, so I had to clean that shit up, right? So then once I started cleaning that up, then I had to get clear about my own identity. I didn't even realize how my mind was working and who I was and how I was creating thoughts. So after I cleaned up the racist thoughts and the Christianity and, I need to be a virtuous, I need to be this for everybody else, then I had to clean up the mother brain, right? The mother brain that says I'm the savior of every child and I had to clean that up. Because all of those were frequencies that were living inside of me that I inherited, right? So once I cleaned that up, then I could start saying, how does my mind really work? Well, where's my Mercury? My Mercury is in Libra. Oh, my mind works best when I am thinking about how to serve others. My mind works best when I'm thinking about how can I change this reality? What can I do in the earth realm? That is when my mind is most impactful, when I am thinking about how to bring a new reality to this world. So the universe is going to respond to me best when my mind is focused on how to make shit better. And I get more results. So if I see a client and I look at their chart and I tell them, I know that client is going to come back and say to me, oh, this worked, or I'm better. Because that's how my mind works. My mind thrives when I'm supporting other people. So I don't have to guess anymore. And so that's why I do the work that I do, because I know how my mind works, right? And so the more I do, so I can script that somebody is happy, or that somebody is thriving, or that somebody is pregnant. I can hear in my imagination. I can hear if somebody wants to be pregnant. They come to me, they work with me, and then I'll just hear them saying, "I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby," or etc. And sure enough, it will happen, because that's how my mind works. I have the moon in Gemini. I have a magician's mind, and it works best when I work it for other people, because that's how it works, right? So you want to learn how your mind works in Gemini. What are the things, what works for you? And it's different for every person, right? So you have to learn how your energy works. The moon in Gemini today is asking you to look at your thoughts. Look at the thoughts that you think, and how are those thoughts? How is the frequency of the thoughts that you think? How have they generated the reality you're experiencing? How have the frequency of the thoughts that you think generated the reality that you're experiencing? Because we have created it all. So if you're having health challenges, what are the frequencies that you have generated through mental health challenges? How have you done that? If you are having challenges in your relationship, what are the things you've been telling yourself that would have you have challenges in your relationship? Whatever it is, if you have challenges in money, whatever it is, where are you generating that thought from? She said moon in Sag, Mercury in Aries, and Venus in Gemini. Oh yeah, so with Venus and Gemini, so with the moon in Sag and Venus in Gemini, your inner world is very expansive, right? And so you need to think your energy with the moon in Sag and Venus in Gemini is about feeling inspiration and providing inspiration. Like it's a energy of like somebody who's a teacher. So you have to know that your energy works best when you are in the position of the teacher. You have to know that, right? So you're not going to, and it's a teacher-student relationship. So you also have to be able to feel connected to the student and express as the teacher. Like it's a dual thing, because you have that polarity. So you have to really understand how your energy works. And when you understand how it works and you get in it, then you fucking thrive. Then you're happy. Then you're good. Then everything sort of works out in a different way. All right, y'all. I love y'all so much. Y'all come and join Follow the Sun. Come and participate. Fillmore, I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, sure. Okay. Come and participate in the groups and the classes that I have there right now. You can join the full moon class. You can join the full moon class. You can join the new moon group, and you can join the last quarter phase group. Thank you. You're welcome. Have a great day. You too, darling. You can join the last quarter phase group, because in these spaces every day I'm talking about the energy and how to best use it, how to allow yourself, how to best use the energy so that you can flourish in your life. And because we're going through such a time on the planet where the old reality is breaking down, and we can't trust, you can't trust our collective experiences anymore, because they're beginning to dissolve. Our collective experiences are beginning to dissolve, and you can't trust them. So it's important to find a consistent pattern that you can stay consistent on, so that your energy is not all over the place. The energy right now is highly creative. So you want consistency in your life, because it takes consistency to actually generate a reality. You must be with it. You must stay present to it, because it ebbs and flows and ups and downs. But the universe doesn't work in a straight line. So you have to, yes, it is cold in LA. You have to stay in a you have to have a consistent practice so that you can manifest, right? And the creative process is volatile and chaotic. So consistency is the key. So that's why I created Follow the Sun. We're about to, this year coming up, we're going to have some really incredible fun classes. Gabrielle is joining me. And what we do there is we do the ritual practices that allow us to tap into our energy so that we're not just in our linear mind. The rituals is what helps us change the energy. The linear mind is stuck in the past. So you have to do the practices so that you can actually begin to change the energy. You can't think yourself out of this. You can't talk yourself out of it. It's not that. It has to be changed from the inside out. And if you don't do the internal work, it just stays in the same thing. I'm so excited. Gabrielle is coming. We're about to have so much fun because Gabrielle she is so magical. All right, y'all. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.